Hey there. So I have a question for you, and this is my question. What's getting in your way? So I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about some of the soul issues that we have that impact our lives and our relationships. And before I get into that, I just want to share with you. I was watching a movie this weekend entitled Doubting Thomas. It was a really great movie, very insightful, very reflective for me. And so I'm just going to quickly tell you a little bit about the movie, briefly, overview. So hopefully I'm not giving too much information in case you decide to go watch it. But it was really intriguing. And so it's about a couple, a white couple, and his wife, Thomas. His wife gives birth to a black baby. Now Thomas was he was a lawyer and he was living in the corporate world and excelling in his job, just got an increase and a promotion. He had an African American friend that he had been friends with in the same um, law firm for 10 years. They played basketball, they're very close. Came over throughout all of the years, but relationship with Thomas, with his wife, and Thomas's family. And so to jump ahead, so she gets pregnant, she has a baby, the baby's black. So this causes a great deal of challenge for Thomas. And as he's walking through it and trying to navigate through it and try to understand how this could possibly be, he's researching, Googling the likelihood of something like this happening, white couples giving birth to black babies. And he has a co-worker in the law firm who is not a positive person, unhealthy, even in his conversation. Oh, okay, you had a black baby. Ooh, I wonder how that feels. Those kind of things. And so he saw Thomas's really good black friend who works at the firm and is connected to Thomas and his wife. He saw Thomas's wife and his friend's name was Ron, together. And so he made all these assumptions and he went back and he told Thomas, I saw them kissing. Now they hadn't kissed, but Thomas really struggled with that because for him that would, despite all he knew about his friend Ron and his wife, that if this story were true, then that would make sense for his wife giving birth to a black baby. So long story short, she ends up finding out that she was actually the daughter of an African American man. Her mother kept that secret, and so thereby, when she got pregnant, genes, and she ended up having an African American child. So throughout this situation, Thomas he accuses his friend Ron, and he says, I don't want to raise a black baby, and where were you at that time that I went out of town and you didn't go? And so he made all these assumptions against his friend, which of course put a wedge in their relationship. Once Thomas finds out that his wife was black and how the lineage and gene pool worked, and he ended up having a black son, he's telling his friend, that I'm sorry, I lost myself, he said, and he wanted Ron to forgive him. And Ron wasn't taking bait to it. And again, Thomas says, I said, I'm sorry, I lost myself. And he said, no, you revealed yourself. And I share that to say that in this movie, Thomas's framework, was hidden. It was underneath, right? So as long as everything was working fine, and if his wife had given birth to a white baby, nothing in his framework would have been challenged. But because of the circumstance of this African American baby, the reality of what was really underneath Thomas ended up coming to the forefront. So his prejudices, it was fine to have a black friend, but it wasn't fine to have a black son. And in the midst of all this, his wife ends up leaving because he didn't trust her and made these assumptions. He lost a friendship. And by the way, while he was at work, he was so consumed and focused or distracted, I would say, about how his wife could have a black baby that he ends up missing deadlines. So that promotion that he got, he ended up losing it and it was given over to Ron. But I share this again to talk about the frameworks that are underneath um, our lives, underneath the way we're operating in the world, where things are smooth and we're showing, oh, I'm good. There's these masks that we're wearing. Now, we don't realize that they're masks until something touches or imposes or impacts or contradicts those frameworks that we have subconsciously that we're functioning in. And I bring that up because those are the same things that occur with us with our soul issues. We don't realize that we have this underlying framework that we have built our life upon. We feel like it's a solid framework. We feel like it is strong and able to withhold the different layers and hierarchies of our life as we move forward. But in reality, the framework is really broken, misconstrued, confusing, contradictory, and nothing shows up until a circumstance occurs, right? So, for example, you hear when people, what's wrong with her? What happened with her? Why is she responding this way? It's the frameworks that are underneath us, underneath that's hidden, that we are functioning on and trying to build healthy lives from broken and distraught frameworks. And I share that because I really want to talk to you about how we are to navigate when those things occur, when we see that our frameworks are broken, when we see that there is unresolved trauma, that there's unresolved hurt, forgiveness, low self-esteem, bitterness, um, being mistreated, rejection, all of those things that we are building our lives upon, expecting to have healthy relationships, expecting to be able to navigate life in a healthy manner, to be successful in our relationships, in our jobs, in our homes. But these frameworks are not solid. So on Thursday, this coming Thursday, and every third Thursday of each month, actually, I'm going to be hosting some Zoom sessions for women called Make Room for Healing, Make Room for Your Healing, Sip and Share. Just a light way to get people to come together, and we'll share a little bit of the lightheartedness, but the reality is we're going to go deeper. This coming Thursday on the 17th, we're going to talk about intersectionalities. As women, there are so many intersections in our lives. These frameworks that are built, that we're trying to build our lives upon. Back in March, I had a conference, and I entitled it Navigating the Hood. Navigating womanhood, sisterhood, parenthood, but childhood. All these intersectionalities of our lives. My life as an individual, they all connect. My childhood, moving into womanhood, and how I navigate sisterhood, and how I navigate being a parent, and how I navigate being a wife. All of these are intersections, and I believe sometimes in our frameworks we think we're moving from childhood to adulthood, and that childhood is over. But that childhood impacts the framework of our adulthood. And the framework of our adulthood and how we view that shapes how we deal with our sisterhood, how we deal with our womanhood, just how we function as women in the earth, how we deal with being a mom, how being a parent, being a wife. All of these different intersections, they don't just end, they're still interconnected. And those frameworks that are underground, underneath, in our souls that are moving and shaping and shifting and working and turning, are impacting how we show up in our relationships, how we show up day to day, how we show up for ourselves, how we show up for our loved ones, or in the workplace, or in our ministry. But I'm excited because as we learn more about that, those hidden frameworks, those hidden issues of our soul, we can begin to navigate in a healthier, more holistic way. Will we ever be perfect? Absolutely not. We're on a journey. But the more we learn about ourselves, the more we learn about how to navigate in a healthy way, we can become more joyful, more peaceful, more content with who we are as an individual, as a wife, as a woman, as a mother, as a friend, as a business owner, as a co-worker. And we can begin to experience more levels of peace and joy and contentment. And that's what Jesus came for us to have, right? He said, I came to give you life and that more abundantly, not just to translate you into the kingdom, but there's to be more. There's to be more, and abundance in your life, and not just financial, but wealth is physical wealth and wholeness. Material, yes, monetarily, but in your mind, having peace in your mind, being able to process clearly. So what I want to share with you is, besides all of that, is, and I come back to ask you this question: what's getting in your way? What framework is happening underground? These It's these movements and these bearings and wheels and things that are turning, that need to be oiled and that may be rusted and breaking down, that's impacting your life as you live it and as we see it and see you function here on the earth. And sometimes we don't even know what's getting in our way, right? Thomas, back to the movie, he had, and maybe he did, but things were so comfortable for him that only until something happened, and that's normally what it is for us. We call them triggers. When those triggers occur, then we realize, wait, the framework that we thought was solid isn't so solid after all, and it's causing an issue for myself, and it's causing an issue in my relationships and how I navigate and how I show up again in this world with others. So come join me on Thursdays and even on this channel as I share things on my YouTube and Facebook page. We're talking about soul issues. We want to be whole as best as we can. We understand we are on a journey to wholeness, and just like you take, sometimes people have to take prescription medicine, right? You have high cholesterol, you might have to take a statin. You take that statin. You don't just take it once and think, okay, it's over, the high cholesterol is gone. Some people, you have to change your eating. Some people just have high cholesterol. It just runs in your genes and genetics, and you have to take a statin. But just like we take care of our physical bodies and going to the gym, or how we should be taking care of our physical bodies, because we only have one. And once it's gone here, we have left the earth in this form. So anyway, just like we take prescriptive medicine, this is what renewing your mind is. It's prescriptive. It's a constant, something that we need to be doing on a regular basis, allowing the Holy Spirit to come and renew us from the cares of yesterday. Lord, deal with these contradictions that are happening within me, where I believe I should be this, but I don't feel that. And right, we bring into these terms of should, as if who said you should be a certain way? Who said you should respond this way if you are an adult or a wife or a co-worker or a business owner? We're all learning who we are. We're still growing. We are still evolving. We are still emerging into who God has called us to be. It's a journey. If it's over, we would be gone. But the reason we're still here is because there's still a journey that's taking place for us. So again, hop on YouTube, Facebook, join us on Thursdays at 7 p.m. You can register for Make Room for Healing on our website at www.healingspringsinc.org. Go on there for content. Join us. It's a journey. I'm on the journey with you. We're on the journey. Our team is on the journey with you. We can't do it for you, but we're in it with you. And so again, this coming Thursday, we're going to be talking about intersectionalities, those intersections that we as women face and are challenged by, and sometimes even how the world tells us we should be showing up. We're going to learn how to show up in a solid space, being free from the opinions of man, right? So if you were 100% beat up before, we're going to get you to 95%. Then we're going to work at getting 90%. And then we're going to work at 85%, where these things that people are saying and doing that have impacted you, impacted me, are starting to dissipate because we're learning who we are, and we are rebuilding our framework so that we can live holistically in this world. So join me. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at info@healing-springs.org. If you have any questions, if you want to talk about navigating life, navigating marriage, my husband and I do premarital coaching and marriage coaching, life and relationship coaching, family dynamics. That's in the personal life. Then we have the professional stream where I do change management and leadership. So again, it's all about helping people to navigate this journey of wholeness, to be healthy, to be excited about the life that Jesus has called us to live and has ordained for us. Amen. So I hope to see you at one of the sessions on a Thursday night, or one of our gatherings that we'll have coming up. I think our next one is going to be in January. So I'm excited, and I hope to see you at, again, one of our Healing Springs event, www.healingspringsinc.org. Talk with you soon.